What's up, guys? It's your boy coming back with another video. Today, we're going to talk about the Clearinghouse, the FMCSA Clearinghouse. What that is, it's the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, is they are really trying to clean up the industry. And before the Clearinghouse, if you refuse a drug test, failed a drug test, or got violations out of state, lost your CDL, there is places where you could lose your CDL in, let's say, Delaware, and go to another state and get it. I don't know the specifics, so I'm not telling you what states do that or have done that. I've just read that it has been done. And they're stopping all that. This is almost like the PSP system, where companies can go and look at everything on your license. Like, if you abandon trucks, they can see that. Everything to do with your license, they can see. But we're going to talk about just the Clearinghouse today. So, right now, well, before this was implemented, I think it's implemented January 6th. If you failed or anything like that, you could just not use that company as a reference, and nobody has a way to know. But with this Clearinghouse, everything must be reported. Everything. So if I fail a test, they're going to put it in there. If I refuse a test, it's going in there. It's another way to do background checks, which I believe is a great idea, because CDL holders, we don't usually work in the state we live in, for the most part. Most people have jobs with companies out of their state. That's just how it works, because there's more jobs than there is, locals for those jobs. And we're over the road, so it doesn't matter to a lot of people. So, I'm going to read what the Clearinghouse says. The Clearinghouse is a secure online database that will give employers, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA, state driver license agencies, the state law enforcement personnel, real-time information about commercial driver's license, and commercial learner's permits. So, anybody can look and see what's going on with this. It's based around drug and alcohol. There is a lot of guys that use drugs and get high while trucking. I'm sure you've been in the truck stop and you've smelled weed, or you've seen people smoking, and, that's just the people that smoke weed. Because they don't want it in their truck because it lingers. It's people that smoke crack, smoke meth, sniff coke. They're not going to do that outside of their truck. They're going to hide it the best they can. I almost said very well, but they don't hide it very well. I was in California probably 2 years ago, and man, I seen a guy so cracked out of his mind. He did not know he was coming or going, white, black, purple, man, woman, nothing. It was crazy. So, this is trying to clean up the industry. And I think it may, obviously it's going to get rid of those. So now, let's talk about regulations on the industry. A lot of regulations are horrible. They just are. But when it comes to stuff like this, cleaning up the industry, needing better employees, you have the ability to stand for what you believe in and make your price. If you now have to be drug-free, You now have to be on the straight and narrow. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have been before, but you didn't have to be. They would hire anybody. But now, you have to be. Which means there's going to be less truck drivers. The shortage may come up more. They're claiming a shortage. I don't believe it's a shortage. But they're claiming a shortage. But as long as I can remember, it's always, there's a shortage, there's a shortage, there's a shortage. There's a shortage, but companies are going under and drivers are getting laid off, but it's a shortage. So this should clean it up. And, you know, you can get what you're worth if you're that person. Unfortunately, not a lot of straight and narrow. So the Clearinghouse is a secure online database that will give employers, the FMCSA, the driver's license agencies, and law enforcement up-to-the-minute information about the drug and alcohol violations. The Clearinghouse will contain records of violations of drug and alcohol prohibitions, including positive drug tests, alcohol test results, and test refusals. When a driver completes the record of duty process and follow-up testing plan, this information will also be recorded in the Clearinghouse. So, everything about the drug and alcohol is now going to be up to date. So if you fail, your life's going to be miserable. I know a guy that got caught with alcohol in his Hotshot, and in my opinion, he got off scot-free because it was hidden under the radar. Well, that's no longer the case. That's going to pop up. And if that pops up, like, you'll be searched probably every time. Like, they don't believe people can change. They just don't. And unfortunately, the nature of our jobs, loneliness, depression, antisocial, stuff like that goes with the industry could lead to, drinking. I mean, a lot of truckers drink a lot. And there's truckers that just drink social and it's okay. Like, they can drink 1 or 2 beers. But as a CDL driver, you get 0.04. That's what you're allowed to have in your system. So that's like a half a beer or a beer. But and this stuff that is coming up is not just overnight stuff. Like, this has been going on for a long time. Like, they take time to put this stuff into effect, stuff like this. Now, it says, are CDL drivers required to register for the Clearinghouse? Drivers are not required to register for the Clearinghouse. However, a driver will need to be registered to provide electronic consent in the Clearinghouse if a prospective or current employer needs to conduct a full query of the driver's Clearinghouse record. This will include all pre-employment queries beginning on January 6, 2020. A driver must also be registered to electronically view the information in his or her own Clearinghouse record. Drivers who register before January 6 will have their Clearinghouse accounts and. Alright, so a driver must be registered to electronically view the information in his or her own Clearinghouse. Drivers who register before January 6, 2020 will have their Clearinghouse accounts and contact preferences set up, allowing them to quickly respond to query requests from employers on or after January 6, 2020. So, pretty much, it's just another database that Every drug and alcohol violation will go in. Every pre-employment screen will go in. It's a centralized location, so you can't hide under the radar. There is a lot of, not a lot, I mean, there's a good bit of, stuff that still goes on, and unfortunately, we're stereotyped. All drug dealers, all drug dealers are truck drivers. No, all truck drivers use drugs, which is not the case at all. Not the case. I know so many. They're straight and narrow. I've y'all don't know, but I've turned my life around. I don't, partake in any of that nonsense no more. So that's the Clearinghouse, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. As I've said, there's the Ding Ding shirts or for sale on Teespring. Link is in the description. Go on over, get the book. I'm working on the other book today. Try to get that finished up. So, if you guys have any questions, holla at your boy, hotshotwedge@gmail. Like, share, subscribe, hit that ding ding, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.